Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Andy and I'm at Riverview, and what I'm doing is I'm taking some pictures of the South Lawn building. Why am I doing this? Well, not only do I find the composition interesting, when dealing with keystoning in an image, when you point the camera up, you get your parallel vertical lines converge somewhat, depending on how close you are to the subject and how much you point up. As you all know, I don't need to explain. And they don't understand why I use large format. What's the point when you can just take a picture with your little 35mm film camera, or a DSLR for that matter, and then go into Photoshop and then just correct all the keystoning. 99% of the time I use in-camera negatives and print them in the darkroom. So I need to have them corrected in the camera. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some pictures with this 35mm camera of the composition, keystoning and all, and then I'm going to set up my 8x10 camera, and I'm going to make some adjustments to the camera so that the keystoning is eliminated. Then I'm going to scan in these negatives and correct them in Photoshop. I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison, and I'm going to share that with you, and I'm also going to share that with my students. It's been a long day with a bunch of high school kids yelling and screaming, "We're out of paper, we're out of paper, we're out of paper." So I'm going to take some pictures right now. You can see I've got the 8x10 set up, but I have not. All I've got is a 300mm lens on, and that's it. I haven't made any adjustments. Okay, so I'm going to take some shots with the 35mm, from the same position as the camera, as the 8x10, and I'm just going to do that really quick, because you can do that quick with 35mm. I want to have the same framing. I mean, there is some keystoning, it's not extreme, but the vertical lines are converging, so I want to correct that. So I'm going to go ahead now and get the 8x10 all ready. So as you can see, the camera is pointed up, and I've roughly framed the image. So here's the image as it appears on the ground glass with no corrections made. So you can see that there is convergence happening here. You can really see it with the downspout, right? It's really wide here and narrow up there. So I'm going to put some movements on the camera that should correct that. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt the back forward so that it is vertical and parallel with the facade of the building. Hopefully the building is vertical. It should be. It's pretty old. It's over 100 years old. And then I'm going to level the camera horizontally. Now I need to bring the front standard forward so that it is parallel with the rear standard and parallel with the building. Now, because I tilted the standard and not the lens, I'm going to have to make some adjustments at the back of the camera. I need to focus the image. I'll do that roughly first. That's about there. And now I'm showing a little bit more the bottom of the scene, or the top of the ground glass. So I want to raise my lens to eliminate that. And I can just barely reach that. I think about there. Maybe there is good. Yeah. I don't have, my arms aren't long enough. got a little bit of the sidewalk showing, and I can see all of this here. Now you can see this is at an angle, so I'm going to make a correction for that. I'm going to swing the back. And to be able to do these kind of movements, swinging not so bad, but tilting and sliding the back, you gotta have enough image circle. Okay, so that looks pretty straight there, I think. No, it's a little bit off. A little bit, I think. No, I don't think this building's level. Probably about there. It's good. A little bit of sun hitting the subject. That's lovely. It's there when I take the actual picture. Okay, so now that I've swung the back, I'm going to have to swing the front too to bring it back into focus. Just going to focus this a little bit. I'm showing too much on the right side, so I'm going to slide the back to the left. I don't want that downspout in it, it's distracting. So about there. And I'll lock it. Now I need to go to the front and swing the lens. And I just walked around. Did you guys see anything happen? It's really hard for me to do any critical focusing with this GoPro in front of me, so I might have to move you guys. That looks good on that side. And that looks really good on that side. Okay, well that was easy. Easier than I thought. Okay, so I've got the back swung and slid slightly to my left, and I swung the front just a little bit, only a couple millimeters. So that's looking good. I'll just double check my leveling. See, it's out a little bit. Why? That always seems to happen. That means if I do that, then I gotta swing. Do I have to swing? Oh, that's not too bad. No, that's okay. Okay. Now I'm going to do critical focus, and then I'm going to put the green filter on and take some pictures. Okay, green filter. This green filter is equivalent to a Ratten number 57. So that means I got to give 2 1/3 stops more. So the darkest area is in there, just below that window in the back. So I'll base my exposure on that. God, it's really sunny. We've got some light hitting there. Better hurry before the sunlight's hitting the front of my lens. So we're gonna work, I'm shooting X-ray film. So that means I usually shoot it at 80. So I think that's ISO 16, is it? 80, 40, 20, yep, 16. So we got F11. So I got F11 1/3 at 4 seconds. And the column is 6 stops. I'm just going to develop normally. I'll place that shadowed area on zone 3 and develop normally, and I'm probably going to be developing in D2311. So 4 seconds at 11 1/3, 5, zone 4, zone 3 is 22 1/3. So 4 seconds with reciprocity. I need to check my data. Okay, reciprocity for X-ray. What did I say? 4 seconds? It's not much. It's only like 1/3 of a stop more. So 22, F22. Cock the shutter. Get some film in there. So what did I say? 4 seconds? So I got to use a timer on my phone because I still haven't replaced the battery in my metronome. Smarten up, O'Neill. So 4 seconds with the sun, and we have sun. We do. Everything's locked. Yes. Let's pull the slide out. Wait for the breeze to go away. Yeah. Right when I want to take the picture. Isn't that the case? Right when you take the picture, the breeze picks up. Got one. Pull the holder, flip it, pop the shutter, pull the slide. I got 4 sheets, so that's not too bad actually. It's a bit, it's still kind of windy. Yeah, I got 2 more sheets left. Got a cook. Pull slide. There's a little squirrel there on the ledge. I think that's the same little guy that was in the tree just over there that I was photographing. And he was like screaming at me. It looks like him. Okay, I've got 1 more sheet left. Utterly calm. All right, folks, that's it. So to recap, I've shot 4 sheets of X-ray film on the 8x10 camera, and I shot some frames of the same scene on 35mm. What I want to do is I want to scan in the 35mm shots, negatives, images, and I want to correct the perspective in Photoshop. And I don't need to do that because I already did. This is my Photoshop. I did all my corrections in here. So I'm going to develop this film, and I'm probably going to develop it in D23 1:1 like I normally do with X-ray. So that's about it. I'm going to pack up. And what time is it? Because I got to pick up my wife. Oh, 3:39. Okay, I've got an hour and a half. That means I can go home and have a cup of coffee and then hit the darkroom. Okay, I'll see you guys soon.